Welcome back, explorers. Today we're going to talk about resumes. Resumes are an important part of getting the job, and I want you to get the job. But resumes aren't going to get you the job. Resumes are going to get you weeded out if you have a typo, if you have a spelling error, if you have a grammatical problem. Those are things that are going to get you weeded out. And also if it's hard to follow your information. You know how long you have with a hiring manager? Average hiring manager looks at an average resume 6 seconds. 6 seconds. So it's got to be very scannable. Here's your resume. It's going to be one page. If you're old like me, maybe you have more experiences, you want to fit it on multiple pages, you could do that, but they're not going to look at the second pages anyway. Get it down into one page, the key information. If you're applying for a marketing job and you have some finance in your background and maybe some history minor, cut out the things that aren't related if you need to save space, and focus in on the things that are related to the job that you're applying for. Each position you apply for, target your resume to that position. So here's your resume. It could be one page. Biggest, most important, boldest thing, top center, is your name. You can use your full name. You can spell out your middle name. Some research that I looked at recently suggests that if you have a middle initial, that adds more credibility. So I'm going to suggest you use a middle initial. You could go all caps in this case. Generally I advise against it, but in this case you could, but you don't have to. I think it's kind of more understated. It's still going to be the biggest, boldest thing on the page. That's where the I is going to go first, is your name. And controlling where the I goes is one important function of a well-written resume. We're going to take this resume and we're going to give the I three major categories to look at. First one is going to be experience. First one is not going to be experience. First one's going to be education. Well, it could be experience. And again, you've got to make these decisions for yourself. It might be experience, but I'm going to say you're going to start off with education. And then you're going to have a section on experience. And then you're going to have a section on sort of other activities that don't fit. And maybe you've had some awards, or maybe you've had some achievements. Maybe you could call it activities, awards, and achievements. But in any case, we're dividing this into three sections, and these sections are going to be bold and underlined. So everything that I've got in red up here, that indicates you're going to use bold face for that. That's going to grab the I, going to channel the I here, here, and here. If I want to know about your job experiences, boom, I know exactly where to go. And then under this, within this, you're going to put information in a certain way. First of all, under your name, you're going to have your contact information. This is things like phone number, email address, maybe your mailing address, maybe not. Up to you. Maybe a LinkedIn address. I could take into more information than this one page tells. It also says that you're plugged into the corporate social media site. And then in each of these sections, you're going to give specific information. And you're going to do it in the same way so that the hiring manager, again, can sail through it because he's expecting the same information in each section to show up in the same way. So the most important thing in education isn't probably the institution, but it's the degree. So we're going to put that in bold. BA in marketing. Under experience, it's not so much where you work as what you did. Maybe you had a marketing internship, so we're going to put marketing intern in bold. And then maybe you were a sandwich maker at Subway, so sandwich maker. Maybe you did babysitting. So again, in bold, we see quickly what kinds of responsibilities you've had. Now we're going to switch. Those are the bold-faced things, but we're going to add more information. BA in marketing, when? Well, you don't have it yet, so you're going to put expected or anticipated. Say May 2022. And then where? Boise State University. If you're applying for a job in Boise, that's all you need to put. If you're applying for a job in New York City, you're going to put Boise Idaho. If it's clear what it is, then leave it out, but if it may not be clear in context, then add it in. So we've got a format here. It's the name of the degree, the dates, the place, the organization, and the place. And you can use that same format down here. Marketing intern, maybe May of 2017 to August of 2018, or whatever the dates might be. And then what's the company, CLM Marketing, and then what's the place, again Boise, Idaho. If you find for space reasons that you need to abbreviate some things, it's okay, but if you have room, spell it out. Spelling it out says that you're a person that doesn't take shortcuts, and that's maybe a message you want to be sending here. Then again, Subway, you're going to put your dates, you're going to put the place, probably again Boise, Idaho, and then under each of these you've got bullets that explain what you did. Can give some more detail to the employers. Down here in activities, we're also going to have a bullet list of different activities that you did. We'll talk about those in a second. And it's possible that you have one more section up here. Some people will have an objectives section. That's okay. Or it could be a summary section that kind of highlights your key skills. And again, we're going to bullet point those. So now you got to get this visual overview, and at a glance we can see what's going on. Let's look at the bullet points now specifically. What are you going to include in those bullet points? A couple of things. We want actions. We don't want to know, we know from the job title what chair you were sitting in, but what did you do when you were in that chair? So when you were marketing intern, analyzed, that's a great action word. Analyzed market research, prepared reports, any kind of action set like that is going to, and doesn't tell you how much. Give them an idea of scope. Analyzed market research for 3 companies, prepared reports affecting $200,000 in accounts, to give some idea of the impact of what you were doing. Some scope and scale, some numbers. That's going to be helpful. It's something like Subway sandwiches. How do you do that? Well, served, what did maybe 75 customers daily, something like that. Good work. What do you say?
It's one underneath.
Oh, yeah, that's not under marketing intern, so that will go down there. Good point. What else do we want to say? So under your education, oh, look at that. I put it all in the wrong place. Start again. Poof. So now we've got our experience under marketing and under Subway where it belongs. Now let's look at our education. What are we going to put under education? If you have a decent GPA, you're going to probably put that. Earned 3.45 GPA. What else are we going to put in? Were you any extracurriculars on campus? Maybe you were part of the student government. Maybe you were part of the finance club. Maybe you're part of the intramural basketball team, whatever that is. I used to be the Living Learning Community Coordinator. That's a nice thing to put up here if you're in a Living Learning community. You could say selected for. That's a nice college business Living Learning community, and you'd spell that out. So you're going to highlight the things that say the best things about you in terms of your college experience. And some of those things maybe could go under activities and awards and achievements, but maybe fit better here. You've got to make a decision where you want to put those. Some of the more involved ones, maybe down here you have some things from high school that are still pertinent. If you were, National Merit Scholar or captain of your badminton team, that kind of thing could go down here. And again, using the same format. Start with an active verb, and then try to quantify the impact that you had in any one of those positions. So here now we've got a basic format, we've got quick scannability. A couple more things I want to say about this. Sometimes you see people with resumes and they put the date, instead of here, they pull it all the way out over here to the side. Pull the dates out to the side. Here's why I don't like that. I don't like that because it forces the eye to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You got 6 seconds. The date's pretty clear here. If somebody wants it, they know exactly where to find it in each one. I don't see any reason to make your visual hierarchies messed up by pulling the date out to the side. That's my best professional advice for you. A few more points, and then we're done. First point is, these things are going to be in reverse chronological order. Your hiring manager wants to see what you've done most recently. The older things are less important, so they go down lower, whether it's education or in experience or in your activities. So most recent things go at the top of that list. Second thing is, in terms of spacing, we're going to single space between the big head, the little heads, and into the first item. Likewise here, so this is single space, this is single space. And we're going to double space between the elements in your list here to set them apart. So that'll be a double space here, and then here before your babysitting job, and then again double space before the next big section. If you are running out of space, you can single space some things. If you don't fill a page, and some of you don't have a lot of experience, you can double space here between the big head and the little head. So you've got, these are like accordions. Again, if you don't have a lot of experience, take your phone, email address, and LinkedIn, and instead of putting them across the line, stack them up, and that'll fill up some more space. So it looks like you have a whole page worth of information to share. It doesn't look like, oh, I've only done this much and this bottom part's blank. Fill the page. Third thing is, you're not writing paragraphs here. These are sentence fragments. Start with an active verb, get to the end, quantify it, and then get to the next one. These should be very short, each one of your descriptions. No more than 2 lines, most of them just 1 line each. And then finally, we have the fonts. What font should you do this in? If you use a sans serif font without the little niches on the letters, it's going to look a little cleaner, a little more modern. If you use a serif font, not going to look old-fashioned necessarily, but just maybe a little more conservative. And this is a place where conservative is not an inappropriate choice for most jobs. So I would go with the serif font. And then one final thing. All of this should be written in terms of what they're telling you they want. So you've got a job description. In that job description, there are keywords. They say we're looking for someone who knows how to use Excel. If you know how to use Excel, put that in here. Experience with Excel. If they're looking for someone to analyze reports, then write your description as your marketing intern. Use the words they use. If they want a report analyst, then say you served as a report analyst. Use their words back at them. They're looking for those words. They've told you what they want, and if what you've done reflects what they want, give them their words back showing that you do it. That's targeting this resume. Again, take out things that aren't relevant to what they're looking for. Focus in on the things that are. We're good. Go make a fabulous resume. Thank you.